Just like that, she left. She looked like she was in pain too. I must have gotten her to take medicine. So, what's it about this time? Oh, just in time, traveler. Remember that case from before? I've already cracked it. Elementary for dear Heizou, I see. I suppose I can tell you the whole story. You look like you might explode from curiosity otherwise. She probably wouldn't come for me in leaking the case details. Also, I'm sorry if I read some of those words wrong. Sometimes I read too fast or I just skim the whole thing. My apologies. In short, the culprit was a student who frequently second-hand bookshop. Too poor to buy books, he just read them on sight. One day, he wrote a letter confessing his love to the girl he admired in secret and planned to slip into her desk. But in the end, shyness got the better of him, and he retrieved it unopened. Dejected, he began to head back home. On the way, he wanted to crumble the letter into a ball and toss it, but couldn't bear to do that either, so he began to mindlessly fanning himself with it. Just then, he passed by a second-hand bookshop, so to distract himself from his problems, he decided to head in and finish a novel he started reading on a few days earlier. After finishing The Flesh-Eating Trees That You Shouldn't Mess With, he returned home, only to discover that his love letter was nowhere to be seen. Wait, he didn't leave the letter stuck inside the book, did he? Exactly. He accidentally used the love letter as a bookmark while reading. By the time he realized his mistake and returned to retrieve it, he found that the book had already been sold, and the shopkeeper couldn't recall the buyer's name. The poor kid must have been driving himself crazy, thinking, if anyone reads that, I'm done for. I've got to get it back, no matter what. Desperate, he turned into the modus operandi he'd read about in the same crime novel to retrieve it. I don't know if it's because he actually really talented, due to the books of meticulous and detailed descriptions, or maybe because Inazuma City has been so safe lately that nobody bothers with basic precautions. But he succeeded. He used the criminal techniques in the book to conduct numerous break-ins and threw all of the Hanamizaga into chaos. As the case, while initially pretty minor, only the Doshins were assigned to the case at first. But as investigations stalled out, the public got more and more restless. So, Madam Kujo-Sara assigned me to take charge. Fortunately, it wasn't too complicated, and as for the process, well, I'd say things went pretty smoothly. So, how'd you catch the guy? I didn't really catch him, per se. One of the Doshins for the stations bought a copy of The Flesh-Eating Trees That You Shouldn't Mess With. He was going on about how I gotta see it for myself, how good a book that can make a criminal willing to risk it all is. And when we opened it, the letter just fell out. After reading this baffling love letter, everything clicked. So I just picked the time when classes were about to finish, intercepting our little criminal on his way out. He didn't even try to run? Of course he did. Turned the tail and was about to bolt the second he saw me. So I just said, "If you run, I'll show you the letter to your crush's dexmate." Alright, I need to do that again. "If you run, I'll show you a letter to your crush's deskmate." No sooner I had finished speaking than he meekly surrendered. Sorry, I can't do it. Heizou's face with that. Is that a smirk or a smile? What the heck? Heizou, you're terrifying. Don't detectives walk the path of righteousness? It was a bluff. I never actually follow through with it, something that low. He might be a kid, but a crime is a crime, and crimes come with consequences. He'll have to take responsibility and pay all the restitution required. He was a bit too good at it. Feels like he was gonna get very dangerous talent. That's why I say the crimes novels that romanticize crimes end up decising, disenticing people to it. Something like this is something like this isn't really illegal, right? No harm, no foul. It's no big deal. Once ideas like that start worming into people's minds, they might unknowingly turn into fools who cross the line. Traveler, do you think like that? Constantly right now. Oh my, really? Tread lightly then. Should you act on these thoughts, I might get put on your trail. And next thing you know, Madame Cujo will be clapping you in irons. Alright? And we best to avoid that scenario. She's rough with the cuffs, to say nothing of the coughing when she leads you around. Oh, would you look at the time? I should be head back into the station. The pile of cases on my desk isn't going to solve itself. After a debacle like this, I'm sure it won't be long enough before Madame Cujo takes us all in another public safety lecture tour. Let's just hope we don't have any idiot copycat criminals. Otherwise, overtime beckons. Again. Okay, how did I do? I did terrible, didn't I?